I'm pretty forgetful.
I guess,
We're good.
You all good? All right, well, I will call to order the Monday, September 8th meeting of regular school board meeting for Cleary School District. Start with roll call.
Janet Mathis,
Here.
Earl Wallace,
Here.
Isaac Wallace,
Here?
Rich James. Here. Bo Schrader.
Here. All right, next we have the affirmation and the proof of publication of the agenda.
I, Kimberly Johnson, hereby certify that notice of the regular school board meeting was caused to be published in accordance with the state law.
Excellent. Next we have the approval of the agenda.
Let's see. Can I ask on the consent agenda that we move the, which one is it here, the policy revision part out of consent? So
So move C down to the action agenda.
agenda, please, yes.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the change from letter C, get moved down to action agenda, comes letter B.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, move on to audience, to visitors and board members. We have a visit.
Do we have Anna, Marla?
She was supposed to come, but
No? Okay, I don't, I guess.
All right, any board members? See none, we'll move on. Expense vouchers and receipts.
There was something in P cards for Rebecca Wilson, now maybe I've just missed it, but who's Rebecca Wilson?
Ein's Farm.
She
was
She's married. You will see some Melissa Vesbach too, that's Melissa Mathis.
Yeah, well, that one I just happened to know, but, thank you.
I was just gonna ask how the seal coat went. Did people like that, or did it go good, or?
Good, I mean, they were real timely and
I thought so.
setup went well and
Huge difference.
didn't have any issues, they
Yeah.
worked around everything, I think it looks really
Looks great.
nice. and
Nice.
When did they get it done?
So, they started Saturday, Labor Day weekend. So they did a good chunk on Saturday, the front, so that band could come in on Monday, and then they finished up pretty much Sunday and Monday, so.
It looks really good.
Does. All right, no other questions on the vouchers and receipts, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers and receipts.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Passes. Moved on the consent agenda. So on the consent agenda, we have minutes from the August 13th regular board meeting, minutes from the August 13th Policy and Legislative Affairs Committee meeting. We have field trip request, this is a senior Brewer game in May. We have a graduation date of May 22nd, 2026. And we have several donations to the school, including Soldiers Grove Methodist Church. Roger and Becky Hooker donated a new flag. Bill and Jolene Baker donated $500 in memory of Adam Boysen for the Mental Health Fund. Patricia Snyder, $50 for a new sign, and Mary Hockey, $400 for a new sign, and Ruby Mary, $100 for a new sign. So with much gratitude. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, that passes. Moving into our action agenda. We have the Boys and Girls Cross Country Co-op agreements for 2026-27 and 2027-28. This is the packet. See, seems like no real changes.
Longest running co-op. Maybe not wrestling.
Wrestling was before that, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the boys and girls cross-country co-op with Lafarge agreement.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, passes. Then next we have, volume 34, number 2 of the policy revisions.
Okay, my question, and the reason I asked for it to be moved, deals with a policy which was 8120, which I think was just titled volunteers. But in the notes, when you go to read those, I don't know if anybody else looks at them, but if you don't, it's a good place to get a nice summary of all the changes. That part that says information only for whatever, board members or something. And, it was Neola's suggestion to add a line in the volunteers thing that referred to, and I was gonna try to have it on my thing, but I'm not having any luck with that. That, if the volunteering activity or whatever, if it involved transportation of students by private vehicle, that you still had to abide by all the things in policy 8660. So that was one sentence that was a reference. And when I looked in that, so that's what I said in the notes. It sounded like they were suggesting to put it in because more and more schools are having volunteers do that. But when I looked at the actual policy, it had the red strike through on it. So we weren't including it, and I thought, well, that sounded funny, because I thought, well, I think the committee would want that. But Marla cleared part of it up. We don't currently, and Rich, help me out here, we don't currently have volunteers transporting students for district activities.
Yes, I think that was our discussion that, we don't do that, so we'll cross it out, but, I think your emails, and then we briefly talked before that, if it's getting to the point where it's hard to find drivers, it may make sense to put that back in, because then I think it also says then the superintendent would have to approve it, so, kind of what me and Janet talked, I go to cross country, I go to track, and somebody wants to come home with my daughter, then no, I mean, the parent has to approve that just can't happen, but, so I don't think anything would change there, but if 3 kids are going to something that's sanctioned by the school and we don't have a driver, then, the superintendent could approve that if one of the parents wanted to drive those 3 kids. So that was kind of our discussion, so I think the thought process was add that back in if we need it with the superintendent's approval, and then I think we also talked if, then either we could add it in now, or principal's approval, or just leave it at superintendent. So that was kind of the discussion and the emails for open for everybody else's thoughts.
How is that different than when we don't provide transportation and then the kids show up wherever the event is? And that, sometimes that's other parents and that kind of stuff, carpooling and.
Well, that, I don't know, I think we talked about that kind of thing when this policies, when the original 8660 first came up. And I don't know if we ever reached a conclusion on how, I don't know that you control that. I mean, I don't know exactly what you're thinking of, but.
Well, I'm just wondering if, like, instead of having a distinction between school, school-provided transportation that's by, whatever the requirements are there, versus there's no transportation provided, it's on parents and volunteers are the ones that are getting them there.
Well, if it's a school-sponsored activity, one of those policies begins with the district provides the transportation. So if that's really happening very much, we need to look at that. Whichever one of those said it, which I don't remember. reading the
Oh.
policy.
I mean, cause like all athletics,
I was just
Like
gonna
flag
say,
football.
well, I'm just saying like,
yeah, or
all
like
elementary
summer
athletics.
baseball, or, I mean,
Anything, but
stuff
see,
is a
they
little
used to
different,
not call, I remember my kids were little, that, the Saturday basketball thing for
Yeah.
elementary kids wasn't.
Yeah, that's not.
right, yeah.
We didn't
I can
transport to
see,
that, we
like-
just took our kids, but that
Yeah.
wasn't considered.
I can see maybe like the gifted and talented type things maybe, like the spelling bees or the.
We always have somebody,
Yeah, we have-
we have
we
somebody
send a
that
school
takes it
vehicle.
for that, but,
And we
Should
still
we ever-
intend to do that, I mean, that's,
Right.
this policy doesn't putting that one line in there that says, if a volunteer is doing this, you have to meet all the criteria in
Right.
policy 8660. Doesn't mean we're necessarily having volunteers, it just means, hey, if you think you're gonna volunteer and do that, you've gotta meet those things, and 8660 is the one that not only starts with the district does provide the transportation, so we expect students to use that, but in cases where that goes on, and that's the one that requires file a driver's license and insurance and a number of other things, I can't remember.
Background check.
So, you know, my fear is, I guess, if we don't put it there, just because we don't do it right now, what happens 3 years down the line or 5 years down the line when we say, oh yeah, they're not gonna get to gifted in town unless we let them on one drive, some of them, you know.
yeah, I don't think it hurts to have it in
And
there.
it's-
It just
you
offers
still gotta go
flexibility if
back.
we need it, I
Yeah,
mean,
and when you change it, then you go
You
back
know.
and say,
Right.
well, maybe we don't want the superintendent to have to approve all these, maybe it could be the.
Right, it doesn't
Principal or the
require us to
coach.
have a volunteer, but yeah.
right.
But does a volunteer include like a coach? Because Isaac brings up a good point. I mean, like when Josephine was in second grade, I mean, I was the second or third grade coach or the middle school coach. So each Saturday I went around and picked up 5 girls and drove them to wherever we were going and then drove them home. And
I think again, that Saturday basketball type stuff is different than like,
or anything.
you know,
Yeah.
a
Sponsored.
school-sponsored sport. Not that it's not sponsored, but yeah,
I
it's,
know, that's where I'm,
it's
that's where I'm at.
different.
That's
Cause if we started going down the road of having a bus for every like, you know, Saturday basketball game, I mean, yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
you
more
couldn't
that
do it.
actual school-sponsored,
Cause you know, and I've seen that before when I had, you know, the elementary boys and girls both volunteered for, you know, you had a bus back that took us to wherever. You had a lot of parents come, well then when you would go home on a bus, there's nobody
there's nobody
basically
on the bus, and
I mean,
that's pretty common now still, you
so I
know?
mean, if, that's where it gets the point that if you have coaches that are parents, you wanna take them for, you know, you're talking Saturday stuff now, you know, that maybe instead of spending about, you know, bucks for bus for that, parents or volunteer coach can haul them. So, I mean, but you're still back to the point where you wanna make sure they have a valid driver's license and insurance and that.
I think it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
So Rich, can we, I mean, I don't really hear anybody objecting to just putting that line in the policy. Can we say we're gonna put that line in the policy and approve it here, or do you think it's gotta go back to your committee or the policy committee, or?
I don't think it needs to go back to the
Okay.
committee. In my view, the committee reviews and makes a recommendation, and that's what the board is for, is the discussion we just had. So as long as we have a quorum, I guess, just so I'm clear, just what are we putting in? Are we saying just a volunteer has to meet the requirements of that one
Whatever.
transportation policy, or are we saying that the superintendent's gotta approve it?
Well, just a second here, whatever the sentence was, and if I'm lucky, I'll be able to read it to you in a second. I had it up on the screen a minute ago, but now again, it doesn't. There we go. What was in there that was struck through says, a volunteer who transports students in a private vehicle for school-sponsored activities or trips must abide by the guidelines in policy 8660, transportation by private vehicle for district-sponsored activities or trips. That's all it says. And that gets added to the policy that we always had on, and the title of this one is volunteers.
I mean, I'm good with that, but as a board member, I mean, so as long as all,
It's
you know,
the, yeah, it's
oh, the
the
rest of the board
exact
members are good with
Neola
it?
suggestion, I guess, so.
Yep.
Much as I don't always agree with Neil, I gotta say, I
Yeah.
think they did the right one thing on that one.
I mean, Kim, Aaron, Andy, any concerns on
Nope, I think
your
it's
part?
good.
No.
We should put that back in then.
Yeah, maybe just to approve this whole set of policy revisions
Whole thing.
with that sentence being,
I'll make that motion.
and that was 8120.
I'll second it.
Alright, motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Alright, motion passes, and we'll move into our informational agenda. So first off, we have the sports expenses report.
Okay, you're ready for me.
We're ready for you, I think.
This is an overview of all of our expenses from all of our sports last year. It's broken out into what we spent on salaries, benefits, purchase service, that is mainly what we spend on like, official fees, things like that. Some of them are higher than others, just because we've had a lot of sports that make it fairly far into the postseason, so that kind of really brings that up. Supplies and non-capital equipments, that includes any of just their regular supplies for the sports, uniforms are lumped in there, things like that. And then their fees are mainly like, when we go to another school, we have to pay the school a fee. Down at the bottom, there is a breakout of the revenues. We do make the most off of our co-op revenues. Gate fees, we only charge when it's a WIAA event because we have to charge for that. And then just like we pay other schools entry meet fees, they also pay us some.
General, yeah.
So our overall total for all athletics last year was $201,606.32. That was actually down a little bit from 23-24 by about $11,000. Our revenues have stayed fairly consistent over the past 5 years, right around that $35,000. Does anyone have any specific questions on anything or want more information?
Does it include transportation?
That it does not.
Okay. What about the athletic trainer?
Trainer is out of a different budget, but I can get those numbers and email them out if you would
Most of
like.
it, how much percent of the trainer's time is athletics?
Most of it, but we have a separate budget for that
Okay.
athletic trainer.
But it's part of our athletic expenses. I'm just trying to get a handle on what's there and what's not. And you already answered my other one, which is purchase services. What's general athletics at the bottom? I thought maybe that was part of the trainer or something.
So that is just our overarching budget. Kent is in charge of that one, so, like when we have a speaker that comes in that speaks to all different athlete groups, that comes out of the general athletic budget.
So the AD salary is not in here either. 'Cause I thought that could be general athletics, but I noticed there's no salary there.
I'd have to double check that, it might be included in there, but
Yeah, it would probably be salary.
I'm not gonna say that in confidence.
Would the worker fees be out of general or out
Oh,
of
that's
each
a good
individual
one, too.
sport?
Worker fees are out of each individual sport.
Okay.
So if anyone helps at basketball games, things like
But
that.
do they show up in here?
Yes, yep, they would be under the,
Whatever sport it is, fee.
Purchase service.
Under salary and benefits, okay. Yes. So we don't pay officials for middle school teams or anything?
so that was actually a change that was made within the last couple of years. We lumped a lot of things in with the high school just because it was a very low dollar amount for middle school, like we really don't have it,
Oh, okay, I see you said there's no separate account, so
yeah.
not a big deal. Yeah. Well, thanks for putting that together.
much, moving on.
Yep.
Alright, we'll go on to item B, the health insurance update.
Alright, so the first diagram on there that is incredibly small. So the insurance center actually puts all of these together. They unfortunately sent me a PDF of it, so I'm not able to go in and manipulate it enough to make it not blurry and bigger. So that's the downfall there. But right now I only have data through July. I should probably be getting August within a week or so, but there is a little bit of a lag on there. So the first couple of columns are fixed cost. And that fixed cost is with a loose term, it's a fixed cost on a per person basis. But there's always people coming on and going off of our health insurance throughout the year based on like, if someone turns 26, then they get off their parents and jump on ours, or say their spouse gets a different job and they jump on theirs, then that would adjust that. The next chunk is our variable claims, so that includes our weekly claims that we get, any pharmaceutical claims that we have. Neighborhood family clinic bills are separate for that, but then we also get some reimbursements from that, so if anyone were to go over that stop loss ratio over there, or if we get any pharmaceutical rebates, that comes in there. Right now, we are showing, if we were to compare what we would pay for a fully funded health insurance to what we've paid for our self-funded, in this fiscal year, we have saved $52,680.84. Now, that's only 1 month, so that could change a lot. I feel like we see a lot in the summer months that it kind of dips a little bit, especially in July because all of the deductibles reset, so not as many people go right away in July.
So, insurance center figures a premium.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's what they're using on
On those
the
fixed
last thing you
costs.
said, where the money was, the savings or whatever?
Yes, so the very far right, fully funded, it's in red.
Yep.
They do that, and they add on, what they would expect ours to be if we were on fully funded. Because very rarely, if we're on fully funded, does it stay the same year over year as a premium. Even if we were to have a spectacular year, we would still get an increase, and it's most of the time higher than CPI, unfortunately.
So that is a number they basically fabricate.
Yes, they kind of see what the
Not
market's
saying it's a lie,
doing.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, but with
They're the
Janice's-
experts, so.
Yeah, with Janice's kind of background, I mean, she still has
Yeah.
quite a few schools on that fully funded model, so
She would
she
know.
sees what they're getting out there.
But then they
and
also have to compute an actual real premium.
Mhm.
Because if we were charging a certain percent of the premium, we would have to.
Correct, yep, they have a team of data analysts that they spend a lot of time looking at that, and so far, every interaction that I have with them is very positive. Last year, our plan ran a little higher than it did the year before, but even so, they still think that right now we're running fairly well. And they were very upfront with us right away when we switched to this plan. They said over a 10-year period, they're gonna have 2 really good years, 2 really bad years, and then 6 average years. So we knew not every year was gonna be like what we had last, or 2 years ago, our first year, cause it was a spectacular year that year. We saved, it was either $85,000 or $100,000 from switching to this, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But last year, if we flip to the next page, we did have a loss if we were to compare it to the fully funded, it was about $36,000. We did have some higher claims last year. One thing that when I had a meeting with them this spring, they were talking about like, we had a lot of babies born on our plan. I'm like, yeah, that's just kind of the age of our staff. There's just a lot in that range. And they were like, oh, for a district your size, we expect about 1 baby per year. And I'm like, oh, I think we had 3 in that year. Yeah, so that's just kind of the age, but we're not gonna have 3 babies every year. We could have a year where we have none and
Well, if they all come to school here, we're okay.
Yeah.
yeah, we just gotta wait a few more years for those ones to show up. But I mean, there's all those variable things that kind of are a little bit higher cost, but they're not necessarily gonna be there every single year.
So we had people, individuals go over the, specific deductible,
Yes,
which is still 50,000, I see, so that's kind of
yes.
low, but, don't reveal any names or anything, but how many?
Less than 5.
Okay.
Mhm.
And are some of those conditions that we expect to see continue?
Some yes, some no.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them I kind of already knew about it going into it, others I don't foresee them having a big impact. As
Well,
big an
and
impact this year, I should
They
say.
also know that because they have all the access to all the health information, so I'm sure when they figure premiums and I assume they give you an estimate of what's a reasonable budget, so
Yes, I
they
mean with their,
probably had that built in too.
yeah, I mean with their analytics team and they kind of walked me through everything and the first year my head was spinning when I was done with it, but this year was a little more digestible and easy to understand when I got off the meeting with them and made a little more sense.
Yeah.
Things were sticking from the year before.
Oh, you'll be a self-funded expert by the time.
Give me another decade, then we'll see about
You just stick
that.
around that long and we'll give you another decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so last year we did go a little over about $36,000, but
That's what I was gonna ask, so.
yeah. Yeah,
No, we went 36 over the fully insured thing. What did we actually, like, did we have a kind of a number we budgeted for?
we went slightly over that as well,
We're usually pretty conservative budgeting.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, but with some things, like, I can't always estimate how many babies we're gonna have, but I mean, just kind of looking, like, that was one thing that they
We're gonna have
were-
3, we have 2 newly wed teachers in yours, we're gonna have 3 more in the near future.
So, when I was meeting with the insurance people, that was one thing, they were like, oh yeah, like probably 3, and I'm like, you should raise that for the next year too, I'm like, I can think of 2 teachers already, and at this point, I hadn't announced mine yet, but I was like, in my head, I'm like, I'm already pregnant, so I know there's one for sure on the plan next year,
They're going
but,
tick, 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 tick.
yeah, so it's just kind of a guessing game is really what it is, you kind of look at what might be coming down the pipeline and look at kind of the age and, yeah, but things always change throughout the year, you just never really know.
Well, baby thing, the worst thing you have raising your.
Yeah.
Oh, and we had to pay, I forget how much, that initial thing for the first 2 years, we have the one extra payment to build up our, I don't know, whatever it was they called it.
Yep, to buy into the captive for the first
Okay.
2 years, it was either $20,000 or $22,000 each year, so we do not have that this year. Because we've done that, we're in captive, and that money, if we were to leave this model, that would be refunded to us.
What is, capital balance? I saw that, it was probably there and I just don't remember seeing it last year. The green thing, 51,000.
So that, I must have lowballed it, that is what we paid in to the capital.
Oh,
That was
but
our-
that would be 2 years.
Yes, so that's
Plus,
our
there
total.
could have been some, that first year that was good, there could have been some
Yeah,
extra.
yes.
there. Okay.
All right, any other questions?
Thanks a lot.
Yep, thanks, Wilson. All right, moving to item C, the WASB Fall Regional Meeting, October 8th.
That's a board meeting night, so I usually go to that, but since we're at board meeting, probably. They do have one online later, I guess I could look at doing that, but. It's well fun to be there, so I don't do that. If anybody else wants to go, it's at Fenimore at Southwest Tech. Starts with a meal about, I forget, 6:30 maybe. usually out of there by 9. Then you have an hour drive home, so. Just for information on it, the only reason I really did think about going is the, our WASB board representative, you know, that's there's the state board. Our rep is up for election, or will be electing a new one, so Wendy Stitzer from Boscobel has announced candidacy, and I haven't heard of any others, so with only one candidate, I didn't feel too bad about not going to vote, but Wendy's been on policies and resolutions
Wow.
for a while, and she was on this, what do they call the school district boundary dispute thing now that the state has, she's been on that, so that should be good, I think.
Alright, next we have the WASB 2024. Assume that's 2026.
Oops. Okay, yep.
Convention, January 21st and 23rd.
Does anybody plan to go or? Earl, are you thinking about it or do you plan to go to that too? Yeah, okay. Hotels aren't out yet, so I'm that's the hardest part.
Get on top of that one, you did real good last year.
Yeah, well, they did it a different way last year, so let's hope it's easier this year. Signing up and spouses.
Yes,
It's a nice place to stay.
yeah.
Yeah,
We save you lots of
just go
money.
next door.
Yeah.
It makes you hungry.
Alright, and we'll jump down to E, the copier replacement. Allison, you.
Yes, so we are looking at replacing the copier in the district office. It is currently 9 years old, and we learned from the repairman that they no longer make parts for it. So, and it's actually been down for a couple of days, the repairman was in this morning to fix it, and we didn't have a part, so we kinda epoxied it back, one little part back where it needs to be, so it's running again right now. But we have 3 quotes here. The first one is $6,046. It matches that exact machine. It can do color, black and white backs. It has all of the finishing functions like stapling, 3-hole punch, things like that. The second quote that we got is the exact same as the first with the addition of being able to saddle staple. And that was something that was brought up, that mainly gets used during graduation time, right, to help with the program and scholarship. Just to kind of save time for everyone that puts those programs together. Kind of makes them, I think it makes them look fairly nicer. And if I'm remembering correctly.
That's on quote 1, the quote 2.
This is quote 2.
So you don't get that yet.
Quote 2 is $6,710 for, it's the exact same copier as quote 1, just with that additional saddle stitch option, or saddle staple.
With the saddle.
Yeah. And then the third quote is a different brand. It's a Canon, it still can do all of the functions that one currently does, but it's $15,000 or $15,194.28. Just a lot more expensive. The rep that I was talking with at E.O. Johnson said that they have a deal with the manufacturers of Rioche, and they typically get fairly good deals. We decided to go with quotes from E.O. Johnson, just because they would transfer our service agreement that the current copier has to the new copier. So we don't have to look at, if we were to go with a different company, we'd also have to look at getting that service agreement, and right now included in our service agreement is all of our toner. Anytime the repairman comes, hopefully with the new copier, we won't have to call him as often. Waste toner, I'm trying to think of what else. Parts, yep, that's included. Yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting something else that's included, but it would just be a fairly seamless transition from one copier to the new one, if it's approved.
And recommendation is number 2.
Yes, recommendation would be number 2, the $6,710 one. It's the Rioche brand, and it has that additional saddle staple option just to help with the programs that were needed.
So you pay, I guess, it's been a while since I've seen these, but they had a 6710 as a price, but then it had a 60-month lease with maintenance and service or something like that. And that said 300, I wrote down, I can't find it on here right now. But that's 300 per month then? So you pay 6,000 upfront plus over the course of the 60 months, you pay another 18,000.
No, we would just do the $6,710, we would buy it outright, we wouldn't lease it.
Oh, you don't, okay.
Yeah,
So then when it needs service, we pay.
that's included in our service contract, like every time.
Oh, okay,
service
and the
man-
service contract covers like everything in the building.
Yeah,
So we don't need them on individual machines.
correct,
Gotcha.
yes. Yeah. Which the repairman that's been coming, at least since I've been here, very knowledgeable, very nice, I think it was 2 years ago, he had to rebuild something on the copier and luckily they had an older copier in their parts copier that they had been storing away and he's been good to work with. Marla works with him more than I do, but
Very efficient, I mean, they usually come the same day or right away the next day. Even today, he came, we called Friday, he came today, even though he doesn't have a part, but he fixed it, so.
Double taste.
I broke it.
How long does it take to get the new one? They got it in stock?
so they didn't give exact dates as to when we can get it in. Right now, I just figured for information, I didn't think we would approve a new copier tonight, but that is something that I can double check with and see how fast they can get it, what the lead time is.
You didn't think the other one was gonna break Friday, did you?
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
So what happens if it goes down and they can't fix it? Where do you go upstairs and print or?
I just like.
Yeah, and ours doesn't work very well upstairs either usually.
Oh, we don't want to change it. You don't do much.
Come on, Earl.
Yeah, so when the district office copier is out, we just can't do any color. We do have the 2 lounge ones, but like Erin said, the middle school, high school one has also been having some issues recently as well. Those ones are 5 or 7 years old
I
as
think
well, and
7.
and the average life of these copiers is 5 years, so I think we've done pretty well with them. I should also mention, when we bought the district office copier in 2016, we paid $11,000 for it. So the fact that these went down is shocking, and I had to ask the salesman, are you sure you gave me the right quote?
Mhm.
He probably thought I was crazy, but I had to ask, cause nothing in the world is going down in price these days. So I figured, with it being 9 years later, it'd be-
Maybe these next ones won't last.
well, I
Yeah,
also
right.
asked that, and they said that they projected this one to only last 5 years, and the newer ones are supposed to last 6 to 7. So it'll be
It
close-ish,
would be interesting to know the
you never know.
statistics though of what the life is in a school, because I would bet
A
you
lot of
that the
Lot of
industry compared to school,
Yeah,
that,
they run hot.
yep.
Yeah, that's true.
I broke it.
What do you do with the old ones? Can you get anything for them, or do they just recycle them, or?
They're probably gonna take this one
Yeah.
for parts.
Parts for
just 'cause-
somebody else.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah, I can see if we can get anything to trade in it, but
Yeah.
I'm not expecting a ton back on it, but I can double check that.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky they don't charge us for recycling.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Things that might be in
Yeah.
it that might be-
Yeah.
Alright, any other questions on the copier replacement?
Just put it on action agenda next month.
I was gonna say, so, but if we wait a month, well, I don't know, what do we,
I think that we needed one that works.
I was gonna say,
I mean, the
Is- I
difference
don't know
between
how
next
we
month and right
fast
now,
track it,
can we
but-
change this till tonight?
you know, the only thing I can think of is we have given committees or given people, you know, sort of tentative approval to
To
let
go
an
ahead and
administrator decide to
approve.
do that and, you know, I don't.
Well, I think it's a necessity to have.
Yeah, I
it.
mean-
I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah.
kinda,
I guess it's one of those where
Gotta have it.
you gotta have it. I mean, what are you gonna do if it
Just
completely
say-
breaks?
go ahead and,
Well, this one's got another month in it.
Huh?
Marla says it's got
I
another
think this one
month,
has another month in
Yeah.
it, so, yeah.
whatever you do, it's gonna make it last a month.
Yeah, Andy can't touch it, so we should be.
Yeah, but if he
Make
sneaks in
sure
and
you have
touches it,
that
then
alarm
we're
set.
up the creek without a paddle, right?
Hopefully they just kind of.
Might be good to go right away. And whoever asked when's it available, I mean, that's a really good question.
Yeah, we can
Because
inquire and then maybe.
if there's a
I
way
guess
to
it-
say, go ahead and get it.
I was gonna say, I mean, if it's gonna take 2 weeks or whatever, I mean, you need to get it ordered.
Yeah.
And then, cause if you wait till next month to approve it, and then another 2 weeks, then you're a month and a half out, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the way I look at it, but
I mean, I guess it's okay with you guys, I can say, figure out what the lead time is, if it's 2, 4, 6, whatever weeks it is, I can always say, can you get one on order for us, if.
Yeah.
It's okay,
I think we just kind of agree that we'll let Kim make that call,
Yep.
then we're up to
yeah, well, I think if they can bring it tomorrow, I mean, if they got one, bring it tomorrow, I guess that's the way I look at it, is you can't afford to be without anything like that, so.
Keep your staff working.
Yeah, it's better to keep them.
Well, I mean, if the copy machine's out there, we're
Just
still
keep
teaching
that
stuff.
guy off.
Still some stuff going on.
I think they could still figure something out to keep doing.
That's what I'm saying, so I guess it's,
Aaron doesn't want you running up there to use theirs, so.
We got a little one.
I will,
find out, I mean,
Just order and see what happens.
okay, I will move forward with that.
okay.
All right, we'll move on to item F, the seclusion and restraint report.
I can jump in on that one. It's kind of all laid, what's that?
So I can do it too, cause it was all.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Last year, we had 6 seclusions and restraints with 3 children, and, or the year before, and last year we had 1. And there wasn't a restraint, you just had to spend some time pulling up, so. And if you look, I don't know after, before that how many it was, but it was only 1 thing last year, so. Some of the stuff we did with behaviors, hopefully are paying off. And Katie recorded all that, there weren't any upstairs, was there? Well, that's it.
Easy enough. And item G is the board member vacancy, and it sounds like there's no applications.
And we got it in the Bible paper.
Yep, it got in there twice.
Can we put it on Facebook or?
Yeah, did we put it?
Put it on Facebook.
Yeah,
On there, it's on our website.
I think word of mouth would be,
Yeah.
good now.
When do we do, parent-teacher conferences for the fall time? Do we still do them?
October 28th,
Total, yeah,
20, 28th, 20,
29th and
29th.
If we don't have anybody,
Yeah,
then could
that's-
you put up a big poster that says, we have a
Wanted.
school board up, yeah, wanted, maybe get.
Depending on how the parent-teacher conferences go, we might not want them right then.
Yeah, maybe that's not the best.
They come out of their band.
Well, we have a musical coming, and I'm just trying to think of anything that, the people that are in the building anyway, interested in.
Maybe let the staff know, like,
Yeah, we let
that'd be good.
I talked to a few staff and they had some ideas and contacted people if there was
Yes,
any interest.
And they need to be in that, basically what was the old Reedstown School
Yeah.
District. Took a couple months last time. when we get ours.
Yeah, you just went like this to me and then. Check
It
my
was fairly
He's live,
seamless,
okay, we
right?
take it.
Yeah. Till we get some applications.
Put forth some efforts to advertise
If
more.
any people think, I don't know.
And that position is open this spring too, so
Yeah.
they're set for re-election this spring.
Right, well, and yeah, on the one hand, that's all they would have to volunteer to serve would be, but you really want somebody that'd be interested in doing it, so we're not out there looking to get a name on the ballot in the spring.
All right. Moving on to the superintendent's report.
All right, well, I am back in the building and it feels great. I'm not really working at full capacity yet, but I'm building my endurance and staying committed to my therapy, but I am working hard towards getting here as fast as I can. I'm surrounded by the best people though, super protective colleagues. From rides to school and checking in on me frequently, and I believe Marla is the best guard dog around. So our year kind of started out with in-service. Our Westby in-service was really a great opportunity to feed our staff. We had brilliant speakers who helped our staff kind of reflect on their purpose, their why, and the importance of their impact of their work. Exposing them to high-quality speakers, motivational speakers is a great way to celebrate and honor their service. To confirm their impact and to ensure they feel seen, understood, and energized for the year ahead. I was able to lead the back to school in service, and my goal was really to emphasize and set off with a clear vision, kind of knowing what our collective mission is. I have, for the last few months, spent a lot of time thinking about how I could use my painful journey in a positive way to bring something of value to others. So I took certain pieces of the fear and pain in my experience to drive our practices, to motivate our culture, and to strengthen the way we live out our mission. My goal through these lessons, I think helped move us closer to our vision, not only as individuals, but as a district. And then we kind of started off with welcoming students and establishing kind of our meetings to determine what students are needing at this point. I attended the CESA meeting on Friday, which was really great to work with all of those superintendents again. Kind of established our focus, which I think I had said before, but we're really looking at ways that AI can benefit our staff and our students. We are going to be looking at the voucher program and just really how to sustain our small rural schools. Also a big component of that is really the telling your story. So my focus this year is really going to be more on being present and having that narrative about what and who Kickapoo is, who the students are, what our staff are doing. So just telling our story. So that's kind of all so far I've been in. The in-service and the meetings and just welcoming students back into the building. We've added some great staff. And it started out to be a good year, so I'm just really happy to be here.
We're all happy that you're here.
Oh, thank you.
Indeed. All right, jump over the principals.
Short and sweet, it's been a really, really good first week downstairs. Kids seem really happy to be here. Some kids that left at the end of last year, not really happy to be here, have been super happy to be here, and it's really, really nice to see. Couple of things, two of our new teachers that were at other districts I've spoken with, and they've just commented over and over again how different it is here than the places they were. And not to badmouth the other places they were, they just said it's just really different, and they feel really welcome. And just the culture that they've been introduced to in the first 2 weeks, it's really stuck out to them. And then, on the best note, there are more kids in the building in the elementary this year than last year.
Nice.
So I think we're up 10.
Wow.
What do we have,
Keep 'em all for a
five
couple
or
more
6
weeks.
overall?
Yeah, we're at 5 total. Hope
Two
we
more
can
weeks.
get those
overall,
through.
yeah.
That's a great total. We can get those through back.
We're down a few, but we're overall in district, we're up.
5 overall, but that's compared to third Friday, so we'll see. I do have that data, but I'm waiting for third Friday in October to count to have a comparison. Yeah, we're rolling in.
All right, kind of to piggyback off Andy, we have had a good start too. good mix of kids back. Obviously the phone policy thing has kind of been a change, but I feel like it's gone really well to start. I haven't had any parent complaints. Had a few phones that have been taken away in the first week, but overall really good. The kids who had them taken away, they gave them up and we're good, and so that's a positive. With that, I'll hand this out to 3, 4. Sarah Wallace actually did a little handout, which as we get into this in the next couple weeks, we'll send something out to the parents just as far as kind of a follow-up with things. So she had shared that with Kim and I, so I just wanted to, it's just kind of a FYI info of the elements to phones, and so some of the things that I went over in class meetings and stuff, but we'll continue to follow up with kids and parents and hit on that and go from there with that. On Tuesday, I am going to an educator effectiveness training at CISA. I was not able to, unfortunately, attend the summer with Andy, so I'll be going for that on Tuesday. It's Fair Week, last week, this week, so lots of things going on with kids, being in school and starting school and not here or gone for a few days, and so, but always really good to have the kids in FFA and 4-H and everything in the fair. And everybody obviously saw the parking lot. We are still waiting on some bids on the tuck pointing. So again, as soon as we get some of that, and we had talked in the baseball field and softball field too about trying to get people in to do stuff has been a struggle, but they've been contacted, and so we're kind of at their mercy. And the last one, I know next month, just as far as update with Third Friday count and things, but we'll also have the schedule numbers to show where we're at, so.
Thank you.
Any questions?
All right. Yes, with that, we'll convene the closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Purpose tonight is for volunteer middle school football coaches. A motion,
I'll make a motion to convene the closed session.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. All right, back in open session, motion's been made.
So Tyler's a high school volunteer? Is
Yep,
that
Tyler's
right?
High School and Ava's Middle School,
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Tyler
probably.
Crowley as a high school football school coach and Dave Clemens as a middle school football coach.
Volunteers.
Volunteer.
Volunteer, okay. Yeah.
I'll second.
All right, the motion second, all in favor? Aye,
Aye.
opposed? All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved. All right, let the record show.
You better take a picture and send it to Scott.
Yeah, take that.
Well